Brian Howell joins us, covers Colorado for the Boulder Daily Camera and also Buff Zone. Brian with, again, Colorado, Deion Sanders. What a spring it has been for the Buffaloes, fans, the program, and also probably those who cover. Brian, thanks for your time. Paul Catalina and David Smoak. So the anticipation of this spring game at an all-time high?
Yeah, no question. And, 45,000 fans expected tomorrow, and, people can't wait. I mean, the media throng is huge. ESPN's here. Chatted with Chris Fowler at practice today. So, everybody's ready.
Brian, he is, made no bones about clearing out the roster and doing that. How do you expect to see that again here in these next couple of weeks as they've already, put some more guys into the portal. They'll get some more guys out. What do you think the total number in and out will be when this is all said and done?
Well, I think as of right now, they've got 86 scholarships a minute ago. And I know they want to add more. So I think they're going to add another, 10 to 15 guys. So they need another 10 to 15 guys to leave. So I think it's going to be a lot of activity between now and the 30th.
Deion made it very clear when he first met with the team about the transfer portal being open, and he said that's fine. He was going to churn the roster. How many on a percentage level, I guess, out of, let's say, the 23 who have left or whoever else is the number, whatever else is the number, how many of them actually left because they were probably shown the door in some way?
I think most of them. I would probably say 75% or more were probably, probably told or saw the writing on the wall that they weren't going to play a whole lot. So I think they're looking for opportunities elsewhere. And I think he's made it pretty clear in practice and with these guys what the standard is. And if guys don't want to live up to it, they're going to go.
So, Brian, how do you feel Shadur Sanders has adjusted to the level up, and the guys, especially the Jackson State guys in particular, have adjusted to the level up that they're going to have to play?
Well, I think it's a lot easier in that, half the Jackson State staff is here. And so, the support staff is almost all Jackson State, including trainers and things like that. So it's probably been pretty easy for them. They're really just in a little bit colder location, than they were in the past. So it's a lot of the same guys that they've already known. And so I asked Shadur that the other day, and he said, really, it hasn't really been a whole lot different. I mean, football is football, and he's a competitor, so he feels like it's not a whole lot different.
There are some schools who have traditions of players getting their names on the helmet or numbers or whatever. Like, for example, even sometimes a black shirt in Nebraska when they used to play defense, and that might still be a thing with Matt Rule. I don't know. How many of the players have actually earned their number with what Deion Sanders said he wanted to see during spring?
It's only about 13 or so. I don't know if any more earned it today. We're not allowed to watch practice, but it was only about 13. Now, they're all going to have numbers at some point. They have to have them for the spring game, but I don't know how many of them will have earned it. They might get them pulled back after the game. I'm not sure. Which is, Deion actually said the other day, there's probably more that he would have given numbers to that don't have them yet, but the position coaches have only given about 13 of them.
I'll beat that. Make them earn it. Obviously, Travis Hunter earned his. Has Shadur earned his?
He has not. He doesn't have it, although I imagine that they're not going to let anybody else pick number 2, and that might just be setting an example, like not having the son earn it right away.
Brian, what do you think? Again, you haven't seen the team until tomorrow, but reasonable expectations for Colorado coming off of what was an abyss the last couple years. Is bowl game reasonable right now?
Yeah, I think bowl game is reasonable, but that's probably about as high as you want to go with Colorado. I mean, 6-6, 7-5, and again, it's hard to project because there's probably a handful or more starters that aren't even here yet that we don't even know about. So it might be a better team than what it looks like right now.
Brian, there was a meeting on Monday. It seemed like it was just normal. It was already on the schedule. There were thoughts of people initially, oh, my God, they're kind of what was the meeting? And obviously nothing was determined, but what did you kind of get feedback from on what they discussed on Monday?
It's really just, they've had a bunch of these meetings since last summer when UCLA and USC left. But it's really just they keep the regents informed on what's going on. Haven't been able to get anybody to tell me anything newsy out of that, and they try to keep it tight-lipped. But I think it's more so just kind of, here's where we're at this point. Here's the update.
Is there at least, and I'm not trying to set you up on this, is there disappointment that it's continued to take as long as it has?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's probably the case around the whole Pac-12, right?
Right.
I think most of them would like to have had it done at this point, and I think the longer it drags on, there's some disappointment among everybody. They're like, let's just get this done and get it settled. And so I don't sense any more of that from Colorado than what I've heard around the conference, but I think it's got to be kind of that widespread feeling around the entire conference.
One more thing. I saw Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser had a segment on, what is their show called?
Pardon the interruption.
Pardon the interruption. It's a great show. I never get to watch it, but back when it started. And they were trying to create at least a stir about some comments that Matt Rule at Nebraska said about his roster, and they tried to pin it on him pointing or targeting Deion. Did that even float in Boulder?
Not really. A little bit. There's some CU fans, just because there's still that group of CU fans that hate Nebraska, and no matter what Nebraska does, they're going to hate them. So there's some that picked up on that, but I'm not sure, Deion cares at all. And I think it probably was a little bit of a slight towards what's going on in Boulder, but, I don't think anybody here in Boulder cares.
Brian?
At least not with the program.
Yeah, I mean, they got enough to deal with, and so does Nebraska, quite frankly. And I kind of listen to it, and I'm a Nebraska guy, so, and have great respect for Colorado's tradition. I don't know if it was enough to say he was actually pointing the finger at Deion, and then maybe they're trying to create a little bit of a deal, which is fine because they played really quickly early in the 2023 season. Paul, anything else?
No.
Brian, enjoy it. I know it's going to be fun this weekend. The spring game, the Deion era, of course, has already begun. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
You bet, guys. Thanks.
Brian Howell, Boulder Daily Camera, on many things, Deion Sanders, the spring game, and also much more. I'm